Welcome to this beautiful, beautiful episode. And when I talk about beautiful episode, I enjoy beautiful conversations. To me, they are like food to my soul, and then they cause transformation and impact. And what better way to actually live a life? So that's exactly where we actually brought in Wizzy to actually share his story. And his story, goes to parents, goes to the children, goes to this generation. When you talk about the Gen Zs and the millennials and the kind of speed and rush that they are on to make sure that they do certain things, but some caution definitely needed. And I know that as you listen to the story, watch the story, you're going to pick a few things, and then as we dive into the conversation, it's even going to get better. So I want us to come on this journey together so we can be able to learn and grow.
Hi, hello. My name is Tukahirwa Matthias, commonly known as Wizzy, Katara Boy Official. I'm 23. I'm a student, though I do other side hustles since from childhood. I've been a victim of very many situations, but I think the worst of it all was when I broke my parents', I think, trust, and I was advised to quit school because I had decided to do other stuff. I was driven away by other things. I wanted to do music when actually my parents wanted to see me behind computers in sunglasses, but then I had passion for music, so I decided to quit and go for music. After deciding to do music, I had to look for excuses so that I can be out of the house. I mean, out of my home. But of course, my parents were strict, but I looked for means. I would even escape from school. I remember in senior 3, I escaped, and it was a seminary school. So I escaped from the seminary school to go and do music. On that very day, I remember my parent went to school to visit, and he was told I wasn't in school. I think that was the worst part of it. When I came back to school, they told me my parent was already there to visit me, so I was scared. I thought maybe I'm done now. So when holiday came, I decided not to go home. So I went to the studio. I had already made friends. So I used to go there. So they had already become my friends. We are friends already. So they were like, no, you can come here. We'll be here together. So I also started the process, the journey of taking weed, doing alcohol. I think that was the most difficult time. Even my parents looked for me, but I couldn't go back home because of the other issue of escaping from school. I think that was the worst moment of it all. A parent coming to a seminary school, you're not there. Then at the end of the term, you're given a paper. You are indefinitely suspended from a seminary, and you know what that means to a parent. So I thought I was done. So during that holiday, I was on the streets with those people. But of course, studio time, you're not always there. They are like, be here, but when it's time for recording, you're not there. So I used to be wandering on the streets. That was the most difficult time, I think. I started taking weed. Even when time came to go back to school, I could not even call home and tell them maybe it's time to be at school. But my parents looked for me. Of course, you know how moms are. They always fight for us. So I was taken back to school, but then escaping became a problem. Became a problem till I was even expelled from that school where I joined. So already those were 2 schools in 1 year, same class. So it was very difficult. I also got expelled from there. My dad was like, I'm done with you now. You do what you want. So I thought life now, that was the end of life to me. During the street life, when I was still on the streets, I think the worst part of it all is looking for survival, as in getting what to eat. You're from taking your weed, especially, I don't know how you call it in our language, what they call a street language, we call it okwachwa. Taking, you know, that weed you chew. Yeah. So by the time you feel like you're hungry, you already have wounds. So you cannot take anything. What you think of is again taking that weed again. So I would find myself very hungry, starving. I was too tiny even to be called someone's son. So that, I think that was the worst part of it all. You have nothing to eat, you have no money. So what you think of is looting someone. Yeah, looting someone. I remember very well, I was with someone. I was with my good friend. He's an artist. He's called Adomuzo. He's in Mbarara. We were one day on the streets walking. So I met my OB, who was smartly dressed. So he approached me. He's like, "Hey, Wizzy, what's wrong, man? You used to be a star in school." So I looked at him. I started powering out. Like, I started crying because the situation was already harsh on me. They used to see me as a cool kid in school because I used to get some money from parents. But this time around, I have no money. I look shabby. My hair is just dreads. So I looked like a real street kid. So when I looked at this guy, he was like, "Man, what happened?" So I narrated my story because they already knew I had quitted school. So when this guy was like, "Man, check up, man, check on yourself, you still have a chance." So this fellow also, Adomuzo, my friend, he was like, "Man, we can still talk to your dad." So when we went back to the studio that very evening, I sat down, I started looking into it, but I never had means on how I can approach my parents. So I talked to one of the managers. He was called Sokoto. He was my good friend. So when I talked to him, I was like, "Man, this is a good idea. It's never too late for you." But of course, me, I could not approach my parents. So he asked for the number. He rang them. He went there without my consent. I don't know what they discussed. So the next morning, he was like, "Man, I think you should go back to school." Now, I was wondering, is he taking me to school? Is he going to pay my fees or what? But to my surprise, he told me, we are going somewhere. So we went in a taxi. He drove me up to home. I was shocked. I reached home. My parents didn't react like in a way that, you know how maybe you had left home without their consent. They weren't angry at me. So what he did is like, "I'm going to trust you with this boy. You can look for a school. Look for a good school." So this man, I had a brother in Kampala, in Nyanama. He communicated with him. We were facilitated with transport. We came to Kampala. I wouldn't believe what was happening. I thought maybe they are taking me to a barracks or what. So when we reached Kampala, to my surprise, I didn't expect it, but when I approached the man, he was so furious at me. He's like, "Do you know what you are doing?" I was confused. So we slept. Early in the morning, we woke up. They took me to a school. I think that's how I came back to my senses. I think after entering school, I knew that's when I realized that maybe I was now going back to my previous life. Up to now, I'm at campus at Kampala International University doing bachelor's in information and technology. And I also do other side hustles. I'm a content creator on TikTok. But life has not been that good. I sometimes think of the gone days, which were already addictive to me, drugs, alcohol, and still I've tried to figure out on how I can do away without them, but still life isn't that easy. So today I decided to come to Bahati Spirit TV and see how I can be advised or I can be helped.
Welcome to Bahati, talking about real issues that are affecting you as an individual. Insights about financial and personal growth, plus better relationships. And now, Bahati.
Always a beautiful time if we have to have conversations, and especially for me, if it is transformational conversations with real people, with real lifestyles, nothing to hide, and saying that, you know what, I'm on my journey of growth, but it doesn't mean that I've arrived. I'm still on my journey and I'm figuring things out, just like we all are. I am figuring out my life, and Wizzy here is figuring out his life. And it's really, really an honor, Wizzy, to have this chat with you and this conversation with you. And welcome.
I'm also humbled to be here.
You're well?
I'm very well and humbled.
Okay.
To be honest.
And I've seen some of your work. You know, these days it's so easy for someone to get to know a little bit about you. I think I saw a bit of 1 or 2 clips, which tells me that you're a much freer person, a bit of a stubborn person, a bit of a playful person, which is, I mean, it's a good thing. So I'm thinking when you're yoga days, it's a full blast.
Obviously.
Okay, so I want us to have this conversation, and what really interested me about your story on listening to it, and I know that our viewers have been following it, is you being honest with yourself at the point that you miss or broke your parents' heart. Because you say the word broke their hearts like for so many times. I think in counting it was like 7 times when you said you felt they were really broken. You broke their trust, you broke their heart, and you were so surprised eventually when they brought you back in, because you're like, I expect you to react, but now you're not reacting. What exactly is happening? So I just want us to go back before we even come to where you are right now and what kind of strides you want to make in life. What was going on in your mind while you were saying, you know what, I just want to go and do music. These things of school are not for me.
Obviously, in the first place, we all know music, and it brings money more quickly. And once you become a star, you're famous. Obviously, you're making money already.
So music brings money very quickly. You left school in senior 3?
Yeah, senior 3.
Senior 3. And so you went, and someone connected you to a recording studio.
Yeah.
You went and recorded music. Did it bring money?
It didn't. It didn't work out as I expected. Because I was still an upcoming, I may say. Of course, you still have a lot to learn. How to write, and how to market music. So in that process, it took me a while.
So, and you see, there are so many people who get stuck in the mode of upcoming. You've seen even some musicians,
yes.
They still call them upcoming. And you're thinking, this person has been in this industry for 10 years, but maybe they've not broken even. So do you still hold the notion that music brings money very quickly?
I still do.
You still hold it in your mind?
Yes.
Than school, going through school and then going through, campus?
You know, school, going through school, I think it's a lifetime thing, whereby even when you're doing music, there is that time, maybe at the age of 48 or 50, you need to retire from music and do some other stuff. So if you have your good papers, that means after music, you still have something to do.
Okay.
That's what I
So it's more like a fallback position.
Yes.
It's more like a foundation that you dig for yourself.
Yeah.
And okay, I will take the way you look at it.
That times it doesn't work out in Uganda. Yeah, it doesn't work because right now if you're a parent, you want to see your son or daughter behind machines, or I say computers, maybe a banker or something else. And in most cases, we, as children, I think we don't get what we deserve. Like you don't follow what you feel like you want to do. If at all, I may give an example. My parent would want me maybe to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, but you'll find Wizzy. Yeah, we'll find Wizzy wants to be maybe a music producer.
But your passion is somewhere else.
Yeah. So you find parents driving us to different worlds just because they want us to do what they feel
And
like
because
they can.
that is what they know. Most parents, that's what they know. That go to school, get a job. They have particular milestones: get to school, get a job, marry, have children. As in, their life is in a sequence. These days, life has changed. Though the parents are really worried, I think at some point they're like, you know what, if we just let them randomly choose something when they are young, chances are they will regret. So some parents are thinking, I should be able to guide them, give them a bit of a foundation so that they can get to an age where they can make that decision instead of letting them just run off and thinking, I'm a modern parent. At 12 years, I'll let my son be a content creator and see how that goes.
But I think that one, it works. It works, but not in Africa, I may say.
To let them all go while young.
Yeah, we still have that mentality of us making decisions for our children.
Definitely. Which is around the world, not just Africa.
No.
Not just Africa.
What I know, and I do believe, these whites, they are far better than us. In that,
why do they still have colleges and universities?
They still have colleges and universities, but the children are there, not because they were forced by parents to do what they are doing there. They are doing courses chosen by themselves, but not like us here. My parents would force me to do biology when actually I would opt to do geography.
No, I don't think, a parent really shouldn't go to those nitty-gritties. Though I will tell you, there are some children or there are some young people that are angas and clueless about what they should do. So they need help. And then there are those who are a bit exposed. And they think, I can choose. I don't necessarily like biology, but I can do French or I can do this. And they've matured so fast, they can make those decisions. They can even tussle it out with their parents and tell them that, no, no, I'm not going to do commerce. I think math has been so bad for me, I can't make those calculations. I would rather go for Luganda or something else. But there are those who don't know. So a bit of parental guidance is still needed. We can't just shove it away. Okay, but I think some parents just need to be able to know that you can speak, you can reason, listen to you, not necessarily to say yes to everything that you have to say, but to guide you and to know where your passions are and to know what your interests are and to know where to encourage you and where to cast caution.
But to me, I also think here, when it comes to we Africans, I may say, it comes a bit late. By the time you want to tell your parent, I want to do this, you're already in your 18s.
I know.
Yes. But outside there, the parents are themselves naturally as children.
But it's not too old. I would like to think that some of us had the privilege of going through the old system, but look where we have landed. As in, you can find yourself, as in God can help you, you can help yourself, find yourself, even after you are mature. I know that if you start younger, you have an early start. And maybe you love money.
Yeah.
Like we all love money. I love money.
Yes.
But it seems you really want it to flow in very fast.
Yes, obviously. I will give you an example. Ronaldo started playing football at the age of 3. You can see where he is right now. Here in Uganda, by the time you decide to go for football, you're 18. You're too old for those outside leagues. That's the problem.
You're just doing it as a hobby.
Yes. And of which it would have earned you a lot of money if you had discovered that you could play football earlier. But here in Uganda, by the time you tell your parents you want to go and do football, you're already a doctor.
And that's the thing. That's why this conversation comes in. That a parent who is following us, it's like casting a stone in their brain, and they're like, I should open my eyes to the giftings my child has, that this world is not just about being a plumber It's about using your creativity and your inborn passions and purpose to make sure that you actually earn a living.
Yeah.
And it is possible. They have seen other people do it, and they can actually. So that is where this conversation actually comes in. So you run away at senior 3.
Yes.
You go do your music. Music comes in with a bit of drugs and bad company.
Obviously, by the time you join, they will tell you, man, if you want to make a hit, if you want to be a star, you have to drink, you have to do drugs, you need to make sure you have beautiful women around you. That's what it means by being a star.
Okay.
So I also
they
had to
drew
do
that picture for
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
and you were like, now this is the picture that I want. So you got the beautiful girls. What money were you giving them? Because girls do not go where things are not, money is not flowing.
Already you're in a studio.
Okay.
You're in a big studio.
So they're thinking
you
you're
work
star
with
in the
big
making.
people. Yes, you work with big people. Even by the time these people are coming to you, they already know. They have that vision, maybe one day you'll be a star.
So they want to be patient and stick around.
Yeah.
And the beautiful girls are always naked, half naked.
Not naked.
Not fully dressed. It's you. There is no way you can be a star, and you work with fully dressed girls.
At times, since I'm here, I was from a seminary school. I think I preferred girls who dress well, decently.
Okay, so you told them to dress well.
But at first I feared them.
Okay.
Yeah, but then with time, we keep catching up.
So you started drinking. Where would you get the money? The drinking money?
Of course, those days, since I was from school, so I know a lot of beautiful girls around school.
So you would
Around
import
town.
Them. You would import. You would.
So what I do, I visit schools, because you know, that age, you have a good sweet words. You like those girls, you bring them. You know, I'm taking you to Latinum. I'm taking you to TON. Like right now, if someone says
we are going to hang out.
we are going to meet DJ Khalid, obviously I know very many Ugandan guys would run after DJ Khalid because he's a star. So that's what I used to do. I approach a lady. I'm like, today I'm with TON. Let's go hang out. Obviously.
So the girl runs away from their home, joins you.
Not even from their home, from school.
From school.
Yes.
Okay.
So they join us. We hang out.
You have fun. Drink till late.
Yeah.
Okay.
Till morning.
Till morning. So that became, and the following day, the same. The following day, the same. Hanging out. Meanwhile, they are investing in you.
Yeah.
Because they are buying. Oh, but you were giving them services. You were bringing them.
Yes, I was bringing.
So you were the man.
Yes. So this time around, I'm earning audios for free.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm earning audios for free. I'm chilling with big boys. Of course, I'm now a star in the making.
So why do you quit? Why do you decide to quit the big boys? Because that seems to be kind of a hyped up kind of, you know, you're chilling, you're having fun.
Time came, and these big boys I was chilling with, they moved to Kampala. I remained at the studio with other guys.
Without money?
Yeah. Broke kids, I may say. So after these people moving
the upcoming kids?
Yeah, so life changes.
Okay.
In a day, we would spend 100 maybe for drinks and eats. Now, you don't even have 5K in your pockets. But you have 2K to buy weed. Weed, or maybe you have even 1,000 for Kakomando in the evening. So life starts changing slowly by slowly. At the end of the day, you have no coin in your pockets.
So does that open your eyes? Does that cause you to question the road that you have taken? What did that do for you?
At first, it didn't do that. Because I was
should
still passionate about it.
patient.
Yeah. So I had to be patient a little bit till it came to the worst, I think. No food, no money,
Even the
no
2K
what.
would disappear.
Yes. Remember, you're sleeping like 10 people in a room.
On the carpet.
On the carpet, of course, no beddings, no what. So life keeps on changing, but still,
Did you ever
you
like,
ran out from home.
remember home and you're like, those guys are in beds, they have food, they're throwing it on the dustbin.
I even remember a time when I sat in one of the corners of the studios, and I think I started crying because I remembered the life I had at home and the life I'm living in now.
The life of entitlement, where there's no bread, it's breakfast, where is food?
Yeah.
You're asking like...
You're even commanding, you don't want to eat this today, you want to eat
You
that.
want to eat fish.
But now this time around, Even your worst dish is not around. And life, of course, it came to the worst. And I felt like I should start maybe looking for money in bad ways, maybe I may say. But I didn't come to that level.
But you thought about it.
But I thought about it because life was too hard for us.
I know. And I love the honesty with which he's speaking about this. So many of us want to camouflage and pretend like we have made all the good decisions in life. But again, it's not like that. We have all been at a place where we have made wrong decisions. And I usually speak about this, even about my own life. And regretting is not the way to go, but picking those lessons. And most of all, Wizzy being here and sharing this with so many other people to be able to actually look at this. I know of so many parents that are going to even go back to YouTube and look for this same kind of story and say, I want my child to look at this, because life is not all rosy like my child thinks. But again, we should be able to cut a compromise, and we should be able to know which way they are supposed to take. So we're still together going through with this story, a lot to learn, and I hope that you stick with us.